So, cruise for a corpse.
Cruise for a corpse.
Cruise for a corpse. And I think the first thing to note is it's pretty bold of a company to spend this long running through their name.
It is a long one.
It's a different time, really. Like, this, you could skip it. I could press the button and I could skip it. But I just wanted
It just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like you want the dramatic experience. This is clearly meant to be a.
It's a game that's taking itself seriously. One would say possibly too seriously. Certainly not taking your time seriously. Okay, right. So that's just a credit sequence. It was on a cold spring morning. Destiny finally decided to knock at my door. A few phrases nervously scratched on the envelope, a harmless invitation, which gave me the taste of a pleasant idea of a sunny vacation. On board the magnificent sailboat of my host, the wealthy Nicholas Karaboudjan. Look at him standing there, right on the edge. But just after my arrival, Mr. Dusent, open up, it's Hector. It's what, this is too quick. Swiftly followed in the butler's footsteps. We've seen a murdered guy. I'm going to have to paraphrase. Karaboudjan is dead. We approached the body, the butler and I. And bang! I recall before slipping into unconsciousness 2 words that came to me. Tomorrow morning. It's a weird 2 words. Good day, sir. I must warn the family. Good. I'll see you in a short while. Yeah, so that's the start. It's a bit all over the place in terms of its pace there, and I mean its literal pace, rather than its plotting.
Yeah.
Like this.
I mean, it's kind of a bit weird on that one too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I mess around with both.
You would have thought, well, you'd expect it to start quite dramatically and take its time. It definitely took its time over giving you its name, and then I think to make up for it, they go like, right, now you need about a whole bunch of text in 4 seconds and some lines that you don't even get an opportunity to see. Like, I swear there was a line that popped up there, and I just, not a clue what it was.
Well, do you think...
I might look in
Do you think
post.
it had more time in the original like in French?
Do you think it could be the French timings? Like they just literally put in the translations but didn't change any of the timing, possibly? One of those things that I went by in a blip, and it would have to be just like, mad, or something like that.
Yeah, like, I think it must be, because I can't imagine they put that in with that timing and expected anyone to be able to read it.
Mm.
Because even if you weren't reading it out loud, I couldn't actually read it fast enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think, setting aside the fact that I'm having to, well, I'm narrating it for it on its behalf, like, there wasn't time to even take it in my brain. So there were pieces there. But I think we've got the gist there. We're on holiday. It was a really weird and portentous invitation to the ship, but we've been invited onto the ship of Nicholas Karaboudjan, who is dead. We've got here, and he was murdered. His body was here with a dagger stuck in the back of it. It's now gone. Which is not standard practice. We got clubbed in the back of the head. And then no one mentioned anything about that once we woke up. It was just like, oh, I better tell the family that...
Well, one person clubbed 2 people.
Do you think he did it with one, like, strike of his...
One swing. Yeah, it was
club.
like all one fluid motion. all the way across. I can only imagine it was, because there's no way you could do that to two different people separately and have neither work out who you are.
Just pure efficiency. He hit us hard enough to knock us out for a little while. I don't know if the butler stayed awake, but again, there's so many questions about what just happened there. Like, did the butler get up, move the body, leave us lying there going, oh, he's still sleeping?
We'll let him nap just a little longer.
Yeah, he looks so tired.
He's on holiday after all.
He really needs this rest. I'll just leave him there, and then as soon as he wakes himself up, I'll spring into action and alert the rest of the family.
Just delay all the rest. We don't need to start this investigation until later. We'll wait.
He's just standing there awkwardly checking his watch. Like, really should do something about this. I have at least moved the body, which I think was the first thing you should do.
That's what I got told. Investigation start. It's too bad. I could ask the investigator, but he's asleep.
Yeah. And we can't wake him. So we're on holiday. We're a detective, so we are going to assume the role of now detecting this murder, and we've got to go through and interrogate everyone on the ship and try and figure out who done it before they can get off the ship, I guess.
Something I caught in the opening crawl there,
well done. First,
was that it was saying how the invitation to the detective was hastily scratched out. I kind of linking that to the idea that maybe because we've been invited randomly onto this cruise ship, seemingly just at complete random. So, is there a potential that Nicholas Karaboudjan knew he was going to get killed?
He knew his fate.
Because why would he hastily invite a investigator?
I don't know how one hastily invites anyone onto a cruise ship. It's like, it surely requires a degree of planning.
I agree, but I feel like that's what they're implying.
You might be right.
The handwriting.
Yeah, you might be right. It seems weird. All of it seems weird. It's not clear what our relationship is to to Karaboudjan in order to warrant the invitation, except that we are an investigator. A fact that should probably have worried Raoul. Dusentier, I think his name is. And maybe clued him into the fact that something weird might happen when he got on here. I mean, he's very used to clearly...
what the text said and how he reacted to the letter seemed dramatically stark and different. He was holding it.
It got delivered at night.
It was shocking.
Or really early in the morning. Did it say 4 p.m. or something like that? 4 a.m.
I don't know. I don't know. It did look really quite dark, but he was he was standing in a very shocked manner.
He was also dressed a bit like a pirate, or in very billowy pajamas and dressing gown. Yeah, I assume he reads all his letters that way. Like, immediately...
in the doorway.
In the doorway, legs astride, ripping them, tearing it to pieces and letting the envelope, drift to the floor while he holds it and sort of just reads out loud the letter. I can only assume that's the way he does it, because there was no reason for him to do it that way for us right then. I don't think.
Yeah, it didn't suggest that it was an unexpected. Oh, sorry, not an it was. It did suggest it was unexpected, but it did. It didn't suggest it was like a shocking letter, just an invitation.
I mean, to look at him, he wouldn't say he looks like a drama queen. I'd say he looks a bit like Tom Selleck. A French. I assume he's French or Spanish. Raoul. Who knows? He could be from anywhere. Looking
I think
like
he's French,
that.
though.
Okay, so let's let's start investigating. Point and click interface, moving around with the mouse, just walking around with that little man icon, and when it goes over a thing that is of interest, it changes to this icon here.
Arrow with a square.
Then you click, and you get some options. So let's do that. This rug seems very little worn. Apart from this, there are no traces. Okay, so there's some translation.
I think you didn't give enough of a gap between worn and apart there.
Well, do you want me to do it again?
There needed to be more drama in that.
I'm not really sure how to pitch him as well. This rug seems very little worn. Apart from this, there are no traces.
Yeah, better. I like that.
Okay.
That was a good reading.
Thank you. All right, I'll try and remember how to read this man. Right. No, not now.
Yeah, I like this interpretation of him. This is good.
Yeah.
He seems like he's taking everything more seriously.
Okay, let's do that then. Let's have him as a extremely serious man who, with a flair for the dramatics. We know he was standing, legs astride in his doorway.
I like the idea that he's an investigator that's never had a real big case, and he always over-dramatizes what's happened.
I like to think also, I am now picturing this, that all of this is said out loud.
Yeah, he says everything as he moves. It's like that guy in what's that horror game that was like Twin Peaks?
Yeah, I know who you mean. It's that
guy. He always talks to the recorder. Yeah,
I can't remember. Yeah, but he was desperately trying to be Dale Cooper.
He just talks into his recording thing, but he doesn't. He just has a weird thing he's doing.
Yeah.
I want him to be like that. That'd be great.
An upside down chair. Let's try and replace it for another upside down chair. It would be better not to touch it for now. Okay, we can try and take the chair. Don't you think it's a bit awkward? He's literally talking to us. I don't even understand what he means by that being a bit awkward. Like,
I assume cumbersome, like picking up a chair.
This is too much of a hassle for me.
Possibly.
Okay. A little piece of crumpled paper. At last, some evidence. Okay, let's take that paper. See, what was that? Something just popped up. Okay. Alright, so he's picked up the paper. Sure, how do we read the paper? Right click. Okay. Oh, yeah, so we've got our inventory, we've got the piece of paper. There's a map, which is really neat. It, gives you a picture of the boat. And the idea predominantly with this game is that you're going around trying to talk to all the passengers, interview them. It's mostly a conversational game. Where you're trying to unravel their secrets and get to the bottom of all the deceit within their hearts.
Oh, okay.
It's an Agatha Christie-inspired murder mystery, so there'll be some talking. And yeah, so you can use the map to go to the various parts of the ship, and you can... It's a fast travel system as well, which is pretty good. It's pretty neat for a game this old.
You know, I think the Seventh Guest could have done with that.
Well, the version we played did have it, didn't it?
Kind of.
Yeah, the problem
still
is
required you to then
that it moved you to specific spots, and then you still had to perform. I mean, the problem with that game is that it has a bad interface.
Yeah, that's true.
So it could put any number of fast travel systems in place, and it still would be an absolute nightmare to move around in it, unless you just don't move around at all. So if it just took you to exactly every square and warped you there, that would be good. And also the other thing about this game is the time. So you can check the time, you can read the time. I assume he looks at his... No, he's not looking at his watch. There's always this big clock nearby.
It's in every room.
Yeah, I like to think it's in his mind. That's his mind clock. And
maybe that's who he's talking to.
Yeah, so the way the game progresses is that as you acquire more clues, you progress time. And it moves forward in little chunks until we get to the point where we can finish the game. Or accuse someone of murder.
Does this game let you just, like, choose anyone, like Clue?
Yes, there's a really cool bit at the end where everyone's all gathered together and you get to point a little finger at someone. And you can select whoever you think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But it is a lockdown story. There is one murderer. It's not randomized or anything like that. So, and also, though the clock hands are novel, it's kind of a bit crappy in that everything's kind of locked in place anyway. Time will progress as you find the clues that it wants you to find. It doesn't really tell you whether you found them or not, and it doesn't tell you or lead you in any particular direction to help you find those clues. So it's going to be an awful lot of looking around, same places, trying to nudge time forward, basically.
Trying to kill time.
Yeah, poking at things until something happens, which is something we now have a lot of experience with in this genre, because most of the games that we've played so far have been kind of like that, not providing much in the way of clues to steer you in the direction that you need to go in for each particular step. So you kind of left just fiddling around until you get there, basically. Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at this bin. An upside-down bin. Thank you. This lacks class, don't you think? He's turned to me to say that. He's literally breaking the fourth wall.
He's telling you that your suggestion...
He's telling me that I lack class.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough, he's detected something. But,
Best investigation all game.
I just can't help but feel with this man staring right at me into my heart. Judged. Right.
Well, that's how you're supposed to feel.
Leave it alone
no,
for
he's
now.
telling you to leave it alone.
Look,
he's like, come on, stop touching the bin.
I've given you all these verbs or these actions to try, but none of them are for you. If anything, he's setting me up for a fall by giving me all those actions. Because you're like, well, I probably should click them since the game is telling you to that certain option. And then he's like, no, only an imbecile would do that.
You are classless.
What were you even thinking, you moron? Right, it's a beautiful wood roll-top desk. Don't you think so? Who's he talking to? Me, I guess. We're his accomplice.
Well, I think that's now that we've established that he clearly knows that the fourth wall is there. I think, well, he's the best investigator we've ever seen. He's worked out he's in a video game. He's worked out his reality does not exist as everyone else realizes it. Like, he's in a virtual world. It suddenly explains a lot if he's saying all this stuff out loud.
Nothing very interesting in all this mess. Okay, what's this? Shark. It's not a shark. That is not a shark.
That's a shark.
It's not a shark. No one has ever looked at anything like that and thought, that's a shark.
I've been told by this game that that's a shark, and thus that is what a shark is.
But now he's going to make me click on it because that's the option. He's going to go, This is not a shark, you idiots! Brr. A shark's teeth imprints which seem strangely sharpened. Yeah.
Are they imprints? Is that not just the teeth themselves?
Yeah, an imprint would be like what you do in a gum shield or something
Reverse,
like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Whereas that looks like the jawline of not a shark.
What are you talking about?
It's so small. I guess you get small sharks.
Could be a small shark.
Yeah. With very sharp teeth.
I'm not sure why he's so scared of it.
Ooh. We have books. We have a puzzle here. Just waiting to be solved. Okay. But we are missing pieces. I'm going to try and take one of these books. No.
You put the book back. Oh.
You did it so quick as well, hoping I wouldn't notice. Right.
So when you look in your inventory later, you'll be like, why do I not have any books?
Where are my book clues? Some technical books on navigation. Okay. Oh, present. It's a huge package wrapped in ribbon. And there's a present here too. Right. Let's open that. But this gift wasn't meant for me. He's turned to me again. He's such a judgmental man. Alright, I guess he's a detective. Probably the right traits to have in a detective. Would you like it if we stole your gifts? Okay.
When he's not going to use it, he's dead.
Who are we?
I don't want to get into.
There's some issues. This guy has some
deep. I don't want to.
Yeah, he's got some issues. Oh, we're safe. A solid oak trunk. Maybe I can look inside. No luck. This trunk is hopelessly empty. Hopelessly. He's a deep soul. Oh.
That's that dramatic flair. That's what it is.
You read what's written on it. Do not disturb. Turn it over. I see what you're getting at. Me. I see what I'm getting at. But alas, there's nothing special.
I think he does. He actually is talking to us. Very much so. There's not like a...
He's full on a cipher for the developers. He's the conduit between us and the development team. But then they
were going, you've got stupid ideas, stop doing these things.
Because there's a lot of cinematography and flair in, though extremely long-winded flair, in what they're doing, which would make it seem like they're trying to present something that didn't want to break the fourth wall. But,
yeah.
But maybe they're just unable to think of anything witty for Raoul to say.
Maybe he as a character was quite like just a brick. He couldn't...
He looks a bit like a brick.
He didn't really have any personality as they developed him, so they just gave him.
Yeah, well, that's a problem for a detective series. Your detective should have personality. Though maybe they're trying to... No, they're not. That's the problem. Like, they're not trying to... I was going to say maybe they're trying to allow it to just be a blank slate so that you can project yourself onto this guy.
No, but
they're
can't
definitely not doing that. They're telling you off all the time. Right. This plank must have had the same pressure as the one across from it.
But if this is inspired by like an Agatha, we're talking like a Poirot, right?
Yeah.
So...
Congratulations on saying that name, by the way. I cannot say his name. I always have to talk around it. And I'm not going to try now.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a real problem with French pronunciation, as I'm sure at some point we'll discover.
Being a French game.
I'm just going to say it like a appalling Anglo man.
Poirot. Poirot.
Hello, Poirot. Sorry, what's up?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if it's sort of meant to be based on that sort of thing, you'd think they'd take sort of, I guess, some personality cues from that. But he doesn't seem very... He doesn't seem the same, really.
I mean,
he's got a kind of...
He's referred to himself as I, me, you, us, we. It's all over the shop. It's probably because he got hit on the head.
Oh, right, you think this is all concussion
This
based?
is all concussion problems, yeah, I think. Either it's the plank or the column that has warped.
It's the plank. The column's not warped.
Maybe it's the column.
It's not, though. Look at the column. You'd know if the column had warped.
It certainly looks like the planks have warped. They don't look like they've warped, really. They look like they've come off. Like just, they're bending.
Look like they don't fit.
I've never seen a piece of wood warp right at the end like that. Though, in fairness, I have never been on an old-fashioned cruise ship or seen any wood.